Well, you know what it is. It's Friday morning, TGIF. We made it to the weekend, and it's time for another episode, time for another segment, time for another part of the About Mansfield Consumer Advice Series. I'm your host, Steve Casillo. Appreciate you being here today. And as we do every Friday, so we bring in our financial philosopher, Phillip Washington Jr. Good morning.
Good morning, Mansfieldians.
And today, we're going to the movies today, aren't we?
Going to the movie. Let's go watch. We have infinite movies we can watch today.
Because life's a movie.
Life is a movie.
And today...
To be experienced.
Right. Today's topic, the name of your podcast is Wealth Building Made Simple. And so it's kind of an interesting topic, is wealth building made easy.
Yeah. And you know, it was funny when I came with the name Wealth Building Made Simple. It was inspiration. And I used to delineate between simple and easy. I was like, oh yeah, we can be simple, but nothing's easy. Well, my mindset has evolved since then. And had I had this thought now, it might be called Wealth Building Made Easy. But we can do an episode on that.
We got to TM that one.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Wealth building made easy. So, all right. It's going back to it's a frame of mind, I believe. Let's tee it up. Wealth building made easy.
Yeah. So I think the I want to use a different story than I use in my podcast, but I think everybody's heard of like the flow state. You know, we see athletes experience it when they call it getting in the zone. Musicians experience it, and we experience it on accident at different times in different parts of our life. And so, what it means is it's to be intentional about allowing things to flow versus like force and struggle. I use an example. I like to watch, like different types of movies. Yeah. And there are some movies that are, I forget the name of it, Isaiah Washington. It was a movie about like time travel, kinda.
Not ringing a bell.
But pick a time travel movie, pick a space movie. It doesn't really matter, where they like just throw concepts that are seemingly complex in the mix. And if you watch the movie and you're trying to figure it out along the way, like the movie's just gonna stress you out. What you want to do is just to experience the movie, like just enjoy it. And as you enjoy it and experience it, you're gonna understand it a lot easier and you're gonna enjoy it better, right? But I have a friend who I watched the movie with, and every mind-bending thing that comes that we don't yet understand, they go, well, how did they do that? Like, stop talking. Stop talking. The movie's going to unfold and explain it.
Just enjoy the ride.
Just enjoy the ride.
I don't know if you've ever seen Inception.
That's the movie I was talking about, Inception.
Oh, okay.
That was Denzel Washington's son, right?
If you lose focus of the movie, you lose the entire story.
Mm-hmm.
That you literally have to focus from beginning to end to understand, all right, what level am I on? What book am I? And oh my gosh, what a mind. Yeah. But then on the other hand, you watch any of the Marvel movies, you just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, but even, and this is the beauty of Marvel from my perspective, Marvel does a good job of making it enjoyable for the nerds like me and you, and then the regular person. Because there's a lot of stuff in Marvel that people miss unless you're like really tapped in, tuned in. It's presenting stories on multiple levels, but they're masters at it.
So let's take, all right, the ebb and flow and the concentration versus the watching and enjoying the ride. How does this relate to finance?
Absolutely. So if you look at somebody who is not where they want to be financially, and they're striving to get somewhere else, a lot of times they'll look at somebody else that has the wealth and abundance that they want, and they might think something like, oh, this comes easy to them, right? This, they had these circumstances which gave them the ability to do that, and I don't have them circumstances, and so I need to get those in order to get that, or some sort of other justification for why they are where they are, and what they don't yet realize, especially if they go talk to the person that's there. Like, you never know what somebody had to overcome to get to where they are, right? It seems like they had something that you don't have on the outside looking in, but in order to get to that state that they're at, they had to mentally overcome. And some do it through ease, some do it through stress and struggle. My point is, you can get there and you can enjoy the process and do it with ease if you appreciate and allow what you have right now, which comes down to like having a positive perspective on what you already have. I use the example on my podcast about a business, right? You can take private equity makes a lot of money on buying a business from somebody that has limited vision, and then they take their money, resources, and either somebody on their team with vision or their vision, and they reimagine the business and they make a huge profit off of it. That's how private equity is done the right way. Not some private equity is done by just stripping it out and doing financial. The private equity that is beautiful, creative, additive to the world, to the business, to the customers, is the private equity where they take somebody with vision and they reimagine it. Give some specific examples. Mm-hmm. This is not private equity, but it's what Steve Jobs did to Apple when he reimagined Apple. What the new CEO, well, not new anymore, but when Microsoft was going down the drain, they got a new CEO and they reimagined that. We're in Dallas. Mark Cuban took a team that nobody watched, the Mavericks, and reimagined it and built a phenomenal championship level organization at one point, and one that's a pretty good contender today.
And I was it's funny you mentioned Mark Cuban, because you talk about how the ease and the flow when you're having fun. And my question that immediately popped in mind is, do you think any of the sharks on Shark Tank, which includes Mark Cuban, are having fun making money?
From outside looking in, when you listen to them talk about making money, like, all of them are excited about making money. Like, I mean, yes. So yes, and because anybody who I meet, and this is not when I say ease and flow, you can have ease and flow in one aspect of your life and have struggle in the other. But when you find the best money makers, the best entrepreneurs, folks that are winning at a high level and make it look easy, and they're doing it without force, without force, stealing, whatever. Like, they're having fun. They're in the flow state in relation to money or whatever they love, right? You feel it on them. Like, they're having a great time.
And is it possible then to maybe, I'm going to steal one of your words, emulate what others are doing when they're already in the process? And that doesn't mean that Warren Buffett bought 1 million shares of this, so I have to buy 1 million shares. No, let's start with a small percentage. If you can only afford 100 shares,
and I would even say what they would want to emulate is the feeling because you can emulate the action, but if you emulate the action, then you have to like literally sit next to them and follow every action that they do. And then you still may not get the same result because you're not doing it from the same energy. So I would go ahead.
And not everybody has a Warren Buffett to talk with or to
follow.
And it's not posted publicly that Warren Buffett bought 1 million shares of this.
It's always late. Yeah, you get. I think they had to quarterly report it, and so you're going to get it 3 months
a little late.
A little late. Yeah.
So maybe the process is to find a mentor.
To find yes, a mentor is good, and I'm so 100%. You're right. I think where I'm trying to be additive to what's not in the world already, broadly, is don't emulate the mentor's actions. Don't emulate the mentor's words. Emulate the feeling that they have towards what you want. So if you see them in love with life in a specific area and it seems easy, what that's telling you is emulate that feeling, because I promise you they felt that way before they got all the money. Like people who are great entrepreneurs and great business people see them before they have the money as delusional, right? Like it's a fine line between delusion and genius. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'll tell you a story off the air about that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you talk to them, they're like, "Oh, this person doesn't understand reality." That's exactly the point, right? The point, if you only see reality and you don't have any money, then you're going to keep recreating no money, right? You have to be delusional, but from a positive perspective, right? I think that's the difference. But a genius disciplines their awareness, their imagination to only see positive towards the desire that they're doing. An insane person, right, allows the negativity, the darkness to take them over, and that becomes their experience.
To wrap up this 10-minute nugget of information, is there anything you wanted to recap or close on?
I think we hit the point perfectly.
If someone wanted to reach out to Phillip Washington Jr. to, I don't know, maybe emulate what you're doing or getting some financial advice, how can they reach out to Phillip Washington Jr.?
StonehillWealthManagement.com is the best place to go. StonehillWealthManagement.com.
That is Phillip Washington Jr. We do this every Friday morning right here live on Facebook. You can watch the video on YouTube or LinkedIn. You can find the podcast, the audio-only version, on your favorite podcast player. Phillip, have a great weekend. Let's do it again next week.
Thanks. You too, Steve.